Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well as well as teach well. And also peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And pretty much in this video, I'm going to be going into an article that popped up on my phone just a few hours ago, actually. Okay, and this is an article from Fox News. All right, and as you can see from the title, it says China ramping up persecution of Christians as it demands worship and allegiance of Xi Jinping, watchdog, in which Xi Jinping is the president of China. Okay, so pretty much, as the title reads, okay, China is ramping up persecution against Christians, those people out there in China who believe in the Bible, who believe in God, and believe in who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Okay, they're ramping up their persecution against individuals that are in that mindset. Okay, and they're going to demand them to, as it just reads, to worship. Okay, to worship and allegiance themselves with Xi Jinping, okay, the president of China. All right, and of course, we already know, those of us of the hopeful elect, those of us, that's in the know, that's in the Holy Spirit, that's keeping up with things going on around the world. Okay, this is happening over there in China, and of course, we already know this is going to happen all throughout America, as well as all throughout Europe. In the rest of the beast system, okay? Because I'll go into the article, and then after that, I'll start going into the scriptures, okay? And as it reads right here in the first paragraph, it says, the Chinese Communist Party escalated its persecution of Christians throughout 2022 as the country clamped down on churches and online religious content while demanding allegiance, demanding allegiance to Chinese President Xi Jinping, according to a watchdog group. It says a report released, it says a report released last week by the U.S.-based non-governmental organization China Aid warned that the Chinese government is using charges of fraud, quote-unquote fraud, to financially suffocate the house church movement, which consists of Christian congregations that have not registered with China's official Protestant church. Okay, so basically, the Chinese government is, going to persecute, particular Christian churches throughout China, all under the guise of, as it reads right here, the, quote unquote fraud. Okay. All because these particular, Christian churches or whatnot, haven't, registered themselves with, the official, Protestant churches of China. Basically because they haven't registered themselves on, within the Chinese system, going according to what China allows them to teach as far as their, religious beliefs and not, okay? Basically because they're not, they haven't aligned themselves with the system, It says authorities are using the traditional Christian practice of giving tithes and offerings to trump up charges against house churches under the quote-unquote measures of the financial management of religious activity venues, which were updated last June, according to the report. Okay? And then it says right here, the report noted that multiple house church pastors and elders have been jailed and potentially face years in prison. Whew. Hey, the draconian laws, draconian measures. All right, unrighteous decrees. Okay, and all of these things, all of these things that the government of China has been doing, to these Christians and these Christian groups and whatnot. Okay, all due to this, as it says right here, the the CVID zero policy. Okay, Chinese government uses zero CVID policy to crack down on Christian gatherings. Report says. So, man, and really over the last 3 years, ever since the beginning of this whole pandemic as a whole, the CVID thing. Okay, we clearly see that the elites of Esau Edom and these different governments throughout these different countries have been using this whole CVID thing to pretty much put more of the squeeze on people. Okay, to try to gain more power, to gain more control over the masses of the people. Okay, because all of this is just all of this is just a forerunner of Esau Edom's NWO agenda. Okay, and as you can see, China, has been one of the main countries, showing itself to be the model of how to pretty much roll out this NWO type system. Okay, because even as a matter of fact, this guy Klaus Schwab, because remember what he said about China recently. Okay, let's look it up. Hold up. Yep. Let's see. Yep. This is also from Fox News. It says World Economic Forum Chair Klaus Schwab, in which the WEF just recently had their meeting, over there in Davos, Switzerland, which is the the highest point in all of Europe. Okay, the part of Europe that's closest to the heavens. All right, and we know, when you go, when you read throughout the scriptures, anytime when nations go up, to what the scriptures call the high places, on tops of mountains and whatnot, what would they do in those high places? Offer up sacrifices and worship their gods. Okay, and that's what that whole meeting over there in Davos, Switzerland was all about. These particular leaders throughout the different countries, gathering at that location, coming together to figure out, how they're going to, roll out their NWO agenda. What's the next moves to make, and as well, how to keep the children of Israel, further into captivity, in their hands. All right. And as we see right here, who's the leader of the WEF, Klaus Schwab. And what did Klaus Schwab say about China recently? It says, World WEF Chair Klaus Schwab declares on Chinese state TV, China is a model for many nations. And we don't have to read any further than that. So this guy Klaus Schwab said out of his own mouth that China is the number one model on how these different nations throughout the earth ought to roll out their the NWO agenda. All right, and as we as we've been reading from this article right here, one of the things that China's been doing recently is the mass persecution of Christians in their countries. All over this, all under the guise of this so-called zero CVID policy. It says let's see. It says right here, by using the new measures against religious content online and the infamous zero CVID policy, authorities limited or eliminated Christian gatherings, said Fu. Okay, so people basically weren't allowed to gather in their churches. They weren't allowed to have congregations and do this, that, and the third. All right, all in the name of because of their beliefs and what in their teachings and whatnot. Okay, it says right here the Chinese government is also cracking down on Christian websites and apps in an attempt to remove Christianity from cyberspace, according to China Aid. So basically, they're trying to wipe out any form of teaching of the Bible from the internet out there completely. Okay, they're basically trying to bring forth a famine of the word in their region of the earth. Okay, and we know that that's soon getting ready to come over here to America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and I'm not gonna read no more in this article. You can pretty much read read the rest for yourself. Let's see. As a matter of fact, let's play this video real quick.
Many churches are asked to take down the cross inside or outside.
An hour and a half before President Donald Trump signed Phase 1 of the historic trade deal with China, a mile away, a Chinese pastor described the fear and intimidation people of faith are enduring under the communist government.
Asking neighbors to spy one another, pressuring school teachers to denounce their own faith.
His address in Washington.
See that? Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back and hear that again.
To spy one another, pressuring school teachers to denounce.
A mile away, a Chinese pastor described the fear and intimidation people of faith are enduring under the communist government.
Asking neighbors to spy one another,
See that? Asking neighbors to spy on one another. Okay, divisions. All right, divisions within a household, divisions, within neighbors. Okay, basically, people within the country of China, spying on those who they believe, could be, associated against the system, who could be, rebels and this, that, and the third. Okay, and we saw parts of that during, pretty much over the last 2-3 years. Okay, I believe over there in Australia, at one time they had passed a law, or were getting ready to pass a law, where basically, if you're a person who lives in Australia, and you spoke particular talking points against the CVID and against the jab and this, that, and the third, against the government and against lockdowns and all those things. Okay, basically, people could report you to the police. They could report you to the authorities and have you arrested. Okay, and clearly we just heard that that's going on over there in China, and it's going to intensify. All right, and of course it's going to definitely intensify here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay.
Pressuring school teachers to denounce their own faith.
His address in Washington coming as the nonprofit watchdog organization Open Doors released its annual list of the top 50 countries where it is most dangerous to be a person of faith, particularly Christian. While North Korea tops the list for the 18th year in a row, China is only the 23rd. But Open Doors says it's the greatest threat against human rights today due to its labor camps and oppression of Uyghur Muslims. The report also paints the Chinese government as paranoid and fears China's 100 million or so followers of Jesus will challenge the powers of the state.
Yeah, so basically, they believe, their government is so paranoid, so to speak, because they believe that those Christians out there, okay, are basically going to be the ones to rise up against their government, because of their talking points, because of their teachings, all right, because of their beliefs and whatnot, okay, and that's why Esau Edom is so paranoid here in these latter days in his system, okay, because you see, he sees the mass amount of people, waking up to all of his lies and his deception. People that's all throughout social media, people that's all, all on TikTok, Edomites on these different platforms exposing particular things. Okay. And of course, not to mention, Esau sees the remnant waking up, the remnant of the nation of Israel. Okay. The elect. Okay. Especially the men of the Lord that he sees standing on their feet throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay. Preaching his gospel, speaking the end of his system into existence. Esau, Edom, okay, is in great fear. But let's finish this video out.
There's constant surveillance through closed-circuit cameras. Churches have been torn down, holy books confiscated.
The data scene.
Yeah, churches torn down. Okay, holy books confiscated. There's taking people's Bibles, taking people's taking certain books and whatnot that people read that helps them understand the scriptures and understand their beliefs. Okay, yeah, they're going all out over there in China. Okay, to roll out this NWO agenda.
Seems to point to the fact that China is resurrecting the God as government state, and we're all threatened.
See that? They're resurrecting the government as basically God in their country. Okay, they're setting up a system to where if you're not worshiping and making yourself an allegiance to the system, then you're gonna first face persecution. Okay, and you're gonna catch hell. All right.
By this, atheists, Jews, Muslims, everyone.
The report highlights 3 trends among the top 10. Governments using artificial intelligence systems to monitor citizens and keep them in line. A rise in Islamic extremism.
Hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
The God as government state, and we're all threatened by this, atheists, Jews, Muslims, everyone.
The report highlights 3 trends among the top 10. Governments using artificial intelligence systems to monitor citizens and keep them in line.
Yeah, they're using artificial intelligence. Okay, their science, their technology to monitor their citizens. Okay, to track and trace their citizens, especially those who they believe, could be, against the system, against, what's being put in front of them, okay, against the government, all right, and all these different policies. They're using AI to track and trace all those things. So how much more the Quran in the near future?
A rise in Islamic extremism, like last year's Easter bombing in Sri Lanka that killed 259 Christians, and increased pressure of ruling dictators like Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
On a positive note, Open Doors says where there is continued dialogue, religious persecution decreases. In that way, the China deal can be seen as a pathway for better treatment of people of faith. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
All right, yeah. So there you have it. Over there in China, there's all types of divisions and uproars, okay, in regards to, religion, mainly the religion of Christianity and the government, okay. So basically, they're persecuting and tracking down, okay, those over there in China, who claim to be Christian, who claim to believe in the Bible, believe in God, and and so on and so forth. Okay, and as it just as it says in the title, they're going to demand those people to do what? To basically bow the knee and worship and allegiance themselves, okay, to Xi Jinping, all right, the head of the government over there in China, all right. And of course, via the Holy Scriptures, we know that the fourth beast system, okay, in which we're in the last leg of the fourth beast system, all right, which started off as ancient Rome 2,000 years ago, but now, okay, starting with the Renaissance period of the 1400s, okay, that same system has now come back in in the rulership over the earth, but now this time through America as well as NATO and the EU. And when we go to Revelation of the 13th chapter, all right, Revelation 13, But start at verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Okay, and this other beast is America. All right, coming out of the earth. And the 2 horns, as we always go into, talking about the 2 political parties of America, the Democratic and the Republican Party. All right, and as it says, 2 horns like a lamb. Okay, because these 2 horns, the Democrats and Republican and whatnot, they come to the people, and they make all these promises talking about, peace and this, that, and the third, safety. Okay, going on all these campaigns, acting as if they're for the best interests of the people and for the best interests of the middle class and all these different things. But as it says, and he spake as a dragon. All right, spake as a dragon. And we always go into that word dragon. If I see this word lamb. Okay. This word dragon.
Strong's G, 1404. Drakon.
Okay, Drakon. All right, dragon, great serpent, name for Satan. Okay, basically they're gonna, those 2 horns, like a lamb, the Democrats and Republic. Okay, eventually are gonna speak as a dragon. Okay, because when they start to roll out this NWO system. Okay, in which they're pretty much this close to rolling out that system. Okay, all they need is just one false flag event, just one major event. Okay, to use as justification to roll out that system. Okay, all of these political parties of America, regardless if they're Democrat, Republic, liberal, conservative, this and the third, eventually they're all working for the same system. For the same agenda, okay, which is what? Draconian laws, draconian measures. All right, it says, verse 12, "And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him." Who is the first beast that came before America? That is speaking of ancient Rome. Okay, so America would exercise all the power of ancient Rome, through its military, through its its court system, all right, its medical practices, all right, the Senate, ancient Rome had a Senate. Today, America has a Senate. Okay, it's 2-party political system. Back in ancient Rome, you had the plebeians and the patricians. Nowadays, you have the Democrats and Republic. Okay, the Constitution. All right, back in ancient Rome, you had a Constitution. All right, which the Constitution is what governed the Senate of Rome. Okay, their writings, their laws, whatnot, their their rights. Okay, just like here today in America, you have a Constitution. Okay, so America is exercising all the power of the first beast, that ancient Roman system. It says, "And causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Okay, so you see that? So America would go throughout the earth and cause all these nations throughout the earth, okay, to worship, all right, this Roman system that they've, revived back into the earth. Okay, worship is democracy. Worship is, is dollar. Okay, yield to its military. Okay, help support this system. All right, America, NATO, and the EU. Okay. As it says, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, America ancient Rome was wounded. Okay, going back 2,000 years ago, almost 2,000 years ago. All right, then it fell. Okay, the Western Roman Empire fell during a time period which Esau calls the so-called Dark Ages or Medieval Ages. But then eventually, that deadly wound was healed. Okay, starting when? the so-called Renaissance period. All right, and that's also prophesied. It's also prophesied in the book of Malachi. All right, Malachi 1 verse 4. Whereas Edom said, okay, Esau, Edom, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Okay, and what were those desolate places that Esau, Edom came back into power and built back up? Okay, the Greco-Roman system. Okay, all the way, leading up to America and NATO and the EU that we see today. All right, it says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness." So the Lord is getting ready to throw this system down. Okay, because everywhere this system, okay, spews its venom, okay, pushes its policies and its dollar and whatnot, you see wickedness spring up in that particular part of the earth. Okay, look what's going on over there in the Middle East. Okay, ever since Esau, Edom, started invading all those countries in the Middle East, okay, and forcing his dollar. All right, you see all types of wickedness going on in that region. You see the alphabet agenda going on in particular parts of that region of the earth. Okay, women bucking up against the system, demanding rights and demanding certain liberties and whatnot. Okay, all under the influence of Esau, Edom, through Babylon the Great America. Okay, the Lord is getting ready to throw all this stuff down. It says, "And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation with," indignation means righteous anger, okay, justified anger, all right, "forever," okay, forever, okay, so that that's a major cut to anybody or any Israelite teaching that the Edomites can be saved. Okay, the Lord said he's going to have indignation, righteous anger against the Edomites forever. Okay, so no Edomite can be saved or be blessed in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, but going back to Revelation 13, verse 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, through the Renaissance period, which Renaissance, when you look it up, it means rebirth. All right, so verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Going into the first usage of the atomic bomb. Okay, Hiroshima, Nagasaki during World War II. Okay, when they dropped that atom bomb, which is because who was at the forefront of making that atomic bomb? Okay, Robert J. Oppenheimer, and I believe they're getting ready to come out with a movie on this guy. All right, the Lord put the spirit on Robert J. Oppenheimer, which I believe was from Germany. Okay, the Lord put the spirit on Robert J. Oppenheimer, to come up with ways of creating the atomic bomb, to put the whole earth in fear of this beast system to this very day. NATO, America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, and that was a great wonder that was done in the sight of all men throughout the earth. Okay, it says, verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So you see that? So the main goal or agenda of this current beast system, America, NATO, and EU, is to set up an image after the first beast that came before it, which is what? Ancient Rome. To basically set up that same Roman system all over again. Okay, but now we see them doing that in a form of their technology. Okay, their science, their technology. Okay, they want to put everything on a grid. They want to make everything trackable and traceable. Okay. And they want to, pretty much link man with their technology, okay, and make man something that can be tracked and traced, okay, via their charagma. All right. It says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, so this system was given power, okay, from on high, from the Most High Yahweh, ultimately, okay, to set up an image of ancient Rome, that ancient Roman system, okay, for it to speak, okay, and how would this system speak? Okay, blasphemies against Yahweh Bashem El Shai. All right, as a matter of fact, because when you go up in this chapter, to verse 6, it says, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name. Okay, that name goes into fame, fame, reputation, glory, memorial, legacy, monument, okay, rank and authority, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Yahweh Shai, the angels on the right hand side, okay, the archangels, all right, as well as the elect of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Okay, so that's pretty much what this beast system is speaking in these outer days. Okay, downright blasphemies against the Lord. Okay, boasting in their science, boasting in their technology, boasting in their military, boasting in their their medical system, boasting in their economy. Okay. So going back down to verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you see that? So there's going to, come a point where this system is going to cause, okay, all throughout the earth to worship the image of this system, okay, and that those who would not worship this system and this image, okay, should be killed. And as we're always going to, this word killed, I believe it's this one. Let's see. Nope. It's the next one. All right, yeah. When you go into this word killed,
Strong's G 615. Apactino.
it says to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish, okay, to extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death. All right, so that's talking about in a physical sense, right? Because we know, according to the scriptures, all right, that there are going to be, some of the elect that are going to have to be, martyrs and be put to death for the word's sake, and a lot of brothers, starting with the apostles on down, have been, heavy in the spirit, going into that particular topic, over the last week or two, okay, having to be put to death and be martyrs for the word, okay, and when you go into Revelation 20, in verse 4, Revelation 20 and 4, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Okay, the thrones talking about, the 144,000, okay, being set up as, the next governing body over the planet Earth, okay, under the authority of Yahweh Shai, basically, okay, in which, the 12 apostles are going to sit upon, 12 thrones, okay, at the forefront of the 144,000, all right, judging amongst the nation of Israel, and as well, judging the whole entire earth, okay, under the authority of Yahweh Shai. All right, even in the scriptures, in the book of Psalms, it speaks about, set thrones of judgment. Yep, Psalms 122 verse 5. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David, the thrones of the house of David, okay, which is the 144,000. The 144,000, which is the governing body under Yahweh Shai, is going to be the next governing body over the whole entire planet Earth in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so Revelation 20 verse 4 again. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, okay, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands, okay, whether their left hand or their right hand, and they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years, okay, in which that 1,000 years is talking about the first 1,000 years of the kingdom, where the tabernacle of David, the 144,000, are going to be gone throughout the planet Earth, okay, and ruling over the nations with the rod of iron and restoring righteousness back on the earth, okay. And I believe the book of Micah, the 4th chapter, okay, refers to this period as the first dominion. All right, but nonetheless, the main point of the scripture is to show you that some of the elect are going to have to be beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. All right, in his word, witness. Okay, for the witness of Yahweh Shai and the word of God, Yahweh.
Strong's G 3141. Martyria. Martyria.
Okay, martyria, basically martyrs, right? It says a testifying, the office committed to the prophets of testifying concerning future events. What one testifies, testimony, i.e. before a judge. See that? So some of the elect are going to be beheaded and be martyrs for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, okay, for the word of the Lord, which is, the spirit of prophecy, all right, because, let's get this real quick, because according to the book of Romans, Romans 11 and verse 4, Romans 11 and 4, but what said the answer of Yahweh unto him? Okay, Elijah, when you read up, okay, when the prophet Elijah was receiving persecution from the prophets of Baal that were following Jezebel, back in, during ancient Israel, which, you can read about the history on your own, okay. Basically Elijah was running, fleeing from persecution so much to where, he pretty much found a cave or to dwell at and hide from him. And, within him living in that cave, pretty much Elijah was about to commit suicide. Was crying to the Lord, praying to the Lord. But then, right before Elijah did that act, this is what the Lord told Elijah. Revelation 11, verse 4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, okay, a perfect number of men, 144,000 to be exact, who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal, okay? And that's, ultimately what this whole entire system is all about, setting up the image of Baal, okay? Setting up, Satan's, okay, order upon the planet Earth, all right? Well, the Lord said, okay, the Lord said out of his own mouth, and we know that the Lord is not a man that he should lie, that he's reserved to himself, okay, 7,000 men, a perfect number of men that would not bow to the not bow the knee to the image of this system, okay, which is the image of Baal. All right. And so, Lord willing, I hope and pray that I'm of this number, okay, that the Lord has set up to not bow the knee to the image of the system, okay. When that time come, when we're gonna face persecution, okay, for not bowing the knee, all right, as it just said in Revelation 13 and 15, okay, we're gonna be killed. Some of us are gonna be killed for not worshiping the image of this system, all right. And when you go to the root word of this word killed, as we always go into,
Strong's G 575. Apa. Apa.
it says of separation, of local separation after verbs of motion from a place, i.e. of departing, of fleeing, okay, of separation of apart from the whole, all right. It says right here under definition C, of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. Okay. All right. So basically that word killed, all right, not only does it go into, physically being killed and physically being martyred and being beheaded, okay, for Yahweh Shem Shai's sake, but also being, separated from the system. Okay, if they can't kill you, or if they won't kill you, then ultimately they're going to separate you. They're basically going to knock you off of the grid. Okay, you're pretty much going to be on your own. You're not going to have access to food and water and money and shelter, like we're used to right now. Okay, we're pretty much going to be separated for separating ourselves from this system, okay? And as a matter of fact, what's also interesting too, over this past week or so, is that, the apostles and a lot of elders and different brothers and whatnot have been going into how Donald Trump, as of recently, came out, saying that he's planning on running again for the next presidential election, and that, if he gets elected again, he's planning on bringing back the guillotines, okay, and ancient torture methods, okay. And we know, of course, that's all gonna lead up to what we just read right here in Revelation 20 and 4, okay, the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shimon Shai and the word, okay, for not worshiping the beast or his image or receiving his charagma, okay, and separating themselves from the system as a whole, okay, and cleaving unto Yahweh Shimon Shai. All right, that's what it's all going to boil down to. Us receiving persecution, just like what they're doing over there in China already, according to this article that I just read. All right, Esau Edom and his beast system is getting ready to do the very same thing. And then now, okay, and then of course, when you continue reading down to verses 16 and 17, as we always bring out, verse 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. Okay, so that's how Esau Edom is gonna seek to know who's worshiping the image of his system by, who has the charagma. Okay, who's gonna take the charagma. All right. And the elect are the main ones on the planet Earth that is not going to receive the charagma or bow the knee to this system or to this beast or its image, okay? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name, in which, okay, pretty much the number of the system as well as the name of this beast system all comes with the charagma, okay, is a package deal, all right, because when you go into this word name, all right, the name of the beast,
Strong's G 3686. Anima. Anima.
It says name, universal proper names. And then it says right here, the name is used for everything which the name covers. Everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name, i.e. from one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds, etc. Okay, so basically, when you take that charagma, okay, you're also taking on the name of this system. Okay, you're allowing Esau Edom to put his name upon you. Okay, just as a husband would, when he marries his woman, his wife, he does what? He puts his name on his wife. His wife takes on his name. Okay, to denote what? That she's now property of that man, her husband. So you Israelites out there, when you take the charagma, okay, you're all, that also comes with you taking on his name as well. Okay, it's not two separate things. Okay, it's not you taking a charagma, but then taking a name or taking a number of the system are two completely separate things. No, when you take the charagma, you're also taking upon Esau's name and his system's name as well as the number. Okay, because as a matter of fact, before I get into the number as well, which I'll go into it briefly, I'm not gonna go into it. You got the apostles and certain elder brothers that have gone deeper into the number of the system, 666. But I'm not gonna go all into it, for obvious reasons, okay? Because this video is gonna go up on YouTube, and we know how sensitive YouTube is, when it comes to this topic and whatnot. But in Ezekiel 35, right, was this whole chapter is basically cursing out Esau Edom. All right, in Ezekiel the 35th chapter, in the 10th verse, this is what Esau Edom said. Ezekiel 35:10, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. So this is what Esau Edom says in his heart, okay, mainly through his elites and these Amalekites, okay, saying that these two nations and these two countries, okay, and what two nations are they referring to? The northern and southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the southern kingdom, and then Ephraim, Gad, Issachar, Manasseh, okay, and the rest of the northern tribes. They want to possess, okay, all 12 tribes of Israel, okay, and make them theirs, okay. And we know in the Apocrypha, right, he that getteth a wife order. Hold up. Let's do this. Let's see. Yep. Sirach 36 and Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So you see that? So the fact that, okay, the fact that Esau Edom is trying to possess, okay, the Lord's woman, which is the nation of Israel, northern and southern kingdom, Okay, he's trying to you know, okay, he's trying to make a help unto himself. He's trying to, use us to help forward his system. Okay? And use us as a pillar of rest. Okay, that's why the scriptures even speaks about in 2 Thessalonians 2. All right, the man of sin, Esau, Edom, right? It said that he would do what? He would, try to sit in the temple. Okay, which the temple is us Israelites. Okay? Let's see. So when you take the charagma, you're also taking upon the name of Esau, Edom, and the name of his system. Okay? You're allowing him, all right, you're allowing him to make you his wife. Okay? And to make you a helpmeet unto his system. All right? And the number of his name, all right, in the 18th verse, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, 666. And as brothers, and the apostles always going to, is 666. All right, Chi, Psi, Stigma. Okay, Chi, which basically represents, Christ or Messiah, right? And then Zai represents a cutting, okay? And then notice this character Chai is an X. Basically, they want to X out the true Messiah, Yahweh Shai, okay? And I mean, Salakia, it doesn't represent cutting. It represents left hand wisdom, okay, left hand knowledge, as well as left hand technology, okay. And then also, pretty much when you do your research on the character Xi, all right, or Xi spelled in English, it's tied to science and mathematics, okay, math and science, all right. And then also, not to mention, when you look up the uppercase symbol of the character Xi or Xi in English, okay, it's it's very similar to the Biden-Harris logo, where you have those three horizontal lines stacked one on top of another. Okay, it looks like a capital E. All right, which that's spiritual in itself. E. Okay, Esau. All right. All right, the Chai and the Zai represents, left hand wisdom, and left hand knowledge through science and mathematics, primarily. Okay. And then, the stigma. All right, the stigma, as we always bring out, as, the apostles, different elders, and different brothers always bring out. Okay, stigma. Galatians 6:17, from henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahweh Shai. And we always go into that word, okay, marks.
Strong's G 4742, stigma.
Okay, which means what? Marked, pricked in or branded upon the body. Okay, so that stigma that John the Revelator saw, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16 on down, was a brand. Okay, a brand pricked in the body. All right. It says, to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers, all right, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked. Okay, pricked. And as you can see right there, it says cut. Okay, cuts, penetrated. Okay, so what John the Revelator saw concerning the MOTB was something that's physically penetrated into other people's bodies. Okay, it wasn't sin. All right, it wasn't any of these other things that these other Israelite camps teach. Okay, it wasn't a philosophy. It wasn't it wasn't all these different things. No, John the Revelator saw a physical object being physically cut or pricked or penetrated into people's bodies. Okay, for the purpose of what? Stamping, all right, their master or their commander, okay, to whom they would claim to belong to. Okay, it says to indicate what master or general they belong to. Literally what I just said. It says, and there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. Okay, so back in ancient times, okay, and brothers have done lessons going into how there was a system of branding, okay, going on back in ancient Egypt, and then later on back in ancient Greece and as well ancient Rome. Okay, in which back during those times, all right, the branding would come in the form of a tattoo, a tattoo where they would put a very hot piece of iron, okay, take it out of a furnace or whatnot, okay, and they would stamp it, okay, on the surface of your flesh, and that that stamp would operate as a brand, to whom you would belong to. Well, now this brand or this stamp that John the Revelator saw, okay, this stigma that he saw in Revelation 13, okay, will be something that's physically cut into people's flesh rather than, stamped on their flesh in the form of a tattoo. And we clearly see that that's the CHIP, okay, the CHIP, the charagma, all right. And so now, when you go to the very next chapter from here, Revelation the 14th chapter, it's, and we always go into it, and we're going to continue going into this chapter, okay, because, we're fulfilling this chapter, okay, and what is this chapter all about? The 144,000 singing a new song, okay, which is what? The everlasting gospel, all right, from the heavens, okay, from an angel, all right, throughout all, every nation, every kindred, tongue, and people throughout the earth, okay, and as you go into it, what is that that new song or the everlasting gospel that we will preach? Okay, fear Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, Babylon the Great is fallen, okay, don't worship the beast or his image or receive his charagma, okay, or else what? Verse 10, and the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Okay, so basically, we will be preaching a message against this beast system, telling you what? To not worship this beast or his image or receive the charagma, but instead to fear Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, okay, and that Babylon is getting ready to go down, okay. So the same system that will be set up in these latter days, according to Revelation 13, the elect, starting with the 144,000, will be in the midst of that system, speaking out against that very same system, okay. So much to the point to where when you get down to verses 12 and as well as 13, all right. And as a matter of fact, I'll also pull those scriptures up in the NLT as well on another tab. All right. So first, Revelation 14 and 12 in the KJV. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. All right. Now, when you read that same verse in the NLT, Revelation 14 verse 12 in the NLT, this means that the Most High's holy people must endure persecution patiently, obeying his commands and maintaining their faith in Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you see that? So because of this message that we're preaching throughout the four corners of the earth, okay, speaking against Babylon the Great and its beast system and its image, as well as exposing this the charagma, okay, we're gonna face persecution because of all of this, because of this message that we're preaching. And now here it is. You know, those Christians over there in China, you know, more than likely, they were probably, you know, speaking out against their government over there in China, you know, to a certain extent, okay, and whatnot. But, you know, how much more as we that are of the hopeful elect here in America, as well as, you know, all throughout Europe and the countries, you know, different European countries where, you know, that are a part of NATO and the EU, okay, how much more persecution, you know, we're going to face, all right? You know, we're going to be facing, you know, some of us are going to be facing persecution even to the point of death, like we read earlier in Revelation 20. You know, those that were beheaded for the witness, okay, the testimony of Yahushua and the word of Yahweh, okay. And then now, when you go to verse 13, Revelation 14 and 13, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Okay, those that will be beheaded. Okay, those that will be martyrs for Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, blessed are they. All right, because the scripture says what real quick in the book of Psalms. Psalms 116 and 15. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. So those that are going to, die for the word of Yahweh Shem Shai and the witness, okay, they're going to be precious in the sight of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, blessed. All right. As it says back in Revelation 14 and 13 in the KJV, it says, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Okay, and their works do follow them. Let's read that in the NLT. Revelation 14, verse 13, and I heard a voice from heaven saying, write this down. Blessed are those who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, they are blessed indeed, for they will rest from their hard work. Okay, from putting their hands to the plow, waking up the sheep, feeding the flock, okay, making their bodies a living sacrifice. It says, for their good deeds follow them. Yeah, and all of their works are going to follow them into the kingdom of heaven. Okay, those that's going to die in the Lord, they're going to be amongst the first fruit spirits, okay, that are going to be, raised up, all right, upon the return of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, but before that is going to come with persecution. Okay, heavy persecution. All right, because as the scripture says in Isaiah, a man shall be made an offender for a word. Let's see. Yep, Isaiah. Isaiah 29, I'm going to start at 20. For the terrible one is brought to naught. Okay, the terrible one being who? Esau, Edom. All right, so what the scripture says in the book of Obadiah, all right, the Lord hath made Esau small among the nations. Okay, roughly paraphrasing it. But it says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Yeah, all these these Edomites that sit in these high places, okay, lurking upon the men of the Lord, seeking ways to, cut our videos off, terminate our YouTube pages, okay, and whatnot. The Lord is eventually going to cut them all off, okay, and lift up a standard for us, all right? It says, verse 21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. Yeah, we're the ones that's reproving in the gate. Okay, singing that new song. All right, they're gonna, it's gonna come a point to where they're gonna label us. All right, they're gonna label us as radicals and extremists and terrorists, okay, this, that, and the third, hate group, okay, they're going to make us an offender for a word. All right. It says that, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Yeah, this NWO agenda is a thing of naught, a vain thing. Okay, like it says in Psalms 2, why do the heathen imagine a vain thing? This NWO agenda. All right. And this word offender, that make a man an offender for a word. Strong's H2398 says chata. It says to sin, miss the way, go wrong, and cure guilt. And cure guilt. Forfeit, purify from uncleanness. All right. It says right here to miss the mark, to induce to sin, cause to sin, to bring into guilt or condemnation or punishment. All right, yeah. And that's how Esau Edom is going to label our message. He's going to label us as, us trying to persuade these people to do something that's wrong in a side of this beast system. Okay, that is wrong. According to God. According to the Most High. If you worship this beast in this image, that is wrong. If you take the charagma, okay, which it is wrong according to the scriptures. But Esau Edom, he's going to play it as if that, we're teaching something crazy, that we're teaching something that's going to cause, that's going to, make it seem like these people, these peon people of the world that don't know what the hell is going on, they're going to make it seem like as if we're teaching an incorrect doctrine. Okay, misinformation, like they say. All right. And so that's how they're going to make us an offender for a word. Okay. And eventually use, false narratives to come after us and, justify persecuting us to the point to where they're going to be, trying to put some of us to death. Well, really, they're going to want to put all of us to death. But, the Lord's going to lift up that standard for us. All right. Against us. Okay. And then also this Amos 8. All right, the famine of the word. Amos 8 verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord power, that I will cause the sun. Hold up. Verse 11. Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Okay, and ironically, pretty soon we will actually see a famine of bread and food, things like that, and a famine of water. But right here, the Lord is saying that He's getting ready to, to bring a famine of the word as well. Okay, which is what eventually the men of the Lord are no longer going to be on the internet, doing these videos, doing these lessons, going out on the highways and the byways, preaching the word, okay? Because great persecution is coming. Just like over there in China, okay? The famine of the word is getting ready to come. It says, verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Okay, yeah, the 2/3 of our people that have been rejecting the word this whole time. Okay, when we're no longer going to be on the internet doing these lessons and doing these videos, okay, Jake is going to be looking all over the place, to hear the word and to hear the men of the Lord, that's been preaching the word. But as it says, and shall not find it. They ain't going to be able to find us in that day. Okay, because the Lord is going to, cut the word off. All right. Persecution is going to come. The Lord is going to have some of us, in particular parts of the earth, okay, hidden from this system. All right, where we're gonna have provision and food and clean water, things like that. Okay, to help us endure during the time of Jacob's trouble. All right. But, some of us are going to be, thrown into prison, as Yahushua said. Okay. We're pretty much going to be doing anything but preaching the word when that time comes. All right. Revelation 2:10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison." Okay, Esau, Edom. All right, this devil that is speaking of right here is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. All right, flying around with a tail, coming out of his back. No. All right, it's talking about Esau, Edom, so-called white man. When he comes down with that, martial law, it says, "The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days." Okay, a perfect amount of days or time period. All right, it's not necessarily talking about 10 actual days, but it says, "Be thou faithful unto death." Okay, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So those of us that are going to have to be, put into these, cast into these prisons, okay, and be tried and have tribulation, all right, and that, eventually going to be have to face death for the word, okay, for the witness of Yahushua. Yahushua, commanded us right here, be thou faithful, all right, and that is going to give us, give us a crown of life, okay, in scriptures like this that I just read right here in Revelation 2:10, all, gives us comfort at the end of the day, okay, because we know that when these types of things start to ramp up throughout the world, okay, where those who who believe in the Bible, who believe in God, and believe on the begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, okay, which we that are of the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, we believe in on all these things, okay, the right way, okay. We know and understand that we're going to receive heavy persecution, all right, and catch hell, for what we believe and for what we preach, okay. And that's why, when we read scriptures like Revelation 2:10, okay, as you can see, it's written in red, all right, said by Yahushua himself, for us to be faithful unto death, okay, that Yahushua is going to give us a crown of life. These are all faith boosters to us, okay. We expect, persecution. We expect to catch hell for the word's sake. That's written all throughout the scriptures, okay, because even in the book of Acts, Acts 14:22, confirming the souls of the disciples, all right, confirming the souls of the disciples, and exhorting them to continue in the faith, that we must through much tribulation, all right, not a little tribulation, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh, okay. And stuff like this is a major part of the tribulation that we're gonna have to go through, okay. Persecution, okay, being forced to worship the image of, to worship this beast system and its image, and take the charagma, okay. But as we read in our Romans 11, the Lord had reserved, okay, a perfect amount of men to not, do any of those things, all right. And so because of that, okay, we're gonna face much tribulation before we enter into the kingdom, okay. So let me see. Well, let's just get Revelation 15 and end it off in this chapter right here, because it's a lot more scriptures that I would like to go into in his lesson, concerning this article, and how we can easily parallel how we can easily parallel what's going on over there in China to what's getting ready to happen over here in America. But this video is is already getting long enough, so I'm gonna just end it off right here in this chapter right here, Revelation 15. Okay, because as we're preaching this new song, okay, singing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth, okay, and preaching against this system and its image and its mark, okay. As we was going into, some of us are going to be, be cast into prison and be beheaded, for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and face, tribulation, and face tribulation and whatnot, okay. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, okay, whether we live and endure, through these times, okay, Jacob's trouble, or if we have to, be put to death, okay, ultimately it's not going to stop us from receiving the victory that's written, okay. Revelation 15 verse 1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh. Verse 2, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten victory over the beast, in which that sea of glass is talking about, us, in the chariots, all right, looking out of the windows of the chariots, okay, looking down upon, looking down at the destruction of Babylon the Great, America. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his charagma, and over the number of his name, okay, which, the number of his name comes with the charagma, as I went into, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh. Okay, so in this chapter, those same ones, okay, who will be, speaking out against the beast system and its image and its charagma, who would refuse to bow the knee or receive the charagma, okay, were the ones that received victory over this same system, okay. And it says, verse 3, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Okay, and as we always go into, what was the song of Moses? As we were delivered out of ancient Egypt. Exodus 15:1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Okay, and nowadays, being that we're in, Babylon the Great, also known as spiritual Sodom, as well as spiritual Egypt, okay, where our Lord was crucified, okay, crucified through the science and the technology of this beast system, okay. When we get delivered and sing the victory over this beast system, okay, we're going to sing the song of Moses. But this time, all right, the horse and his rider, okay, the rider per se, over this, modern day Egypt is Esau Edom, okay, and his horse being what? His military, his air force, his space force, okay, his his whole entire system, the NWO, all of its technology, all of its science, okay, all of those things are going to be thrown into the sea, which is what? That fire, that lake of fire, okay, the destruction upon Babylon the Great, okay, via what? Thermonuclear missiles, as well as the fire from the chariots of Yahweh Shai and the holy angels, okay. So this is the new song of Moses that we're going to be singing upon receiving victory and deliverance over this beast system, okay, as well as his image and his charagma. All right. So man, yeah, it's a lot more scriptures that I really want to go into, concerning this whole article, what it's all about, and what it's gonna lead up to. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much end it off right here. Lord willing, I'll leave the link to this article in the description box. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end it off. Okay, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And until next time, Shalom.